My name is Cindy Metzger. I'm currently the branch manager at First Federal Bank here in Delphos. First Federal Bank is a community bank with over 34 branches located in southern Michigan, western Indiana, and northwest Ohio. I graduated high school from right here in Delphos. I was a Blue Jay back when, and back in high school I was involved in band, in honor society, in the school newspaper, in the yearbook, and I always found myself very interested in numbers, very interested in accounting, and I always kind of saw myself doing something like that in the future. So I pursued in college an accounting degree and also a computer science degree, which kind of led me here to the bank. I started the bank, again, 31 years ago as a teller, working on the front line, cashing checks, depositing checks, taking care of customers. I worked through the bank, being a new account representative, a supervisor at one of our other branch locations. I've also been a lender, so I've made car loans, home equity loans, and mortgage loans to folks, and like you, going off to college, maybe someday a student loan. I've also been a lender here at the bank, but currently I am now the branch manager. As a branch manager, a lot of my day-to-day responsibilities and activities revolve a lot around business development. How can we expand the business here in Delphos and the surrounding area? How can we enhance and deepen the relationships we have with our current customers? How are we able to help them achieve the financial goals that they want to get to? That's a big part of my job. I'm also responsible for all the staff here in the Delphos office, along with the building, the grounds, and just everything else that revolves around a branch and the bank environment. Some of the important qualities and skills that it takes to be in banking, not just a branch manager, but on any level, is confidentiality. We take very serious the information that our customers share with us and give to us, that we all sign an oath at the very beginning that none of this information is shared outside the walls of the bank. We don't talk about anything. People want their information kept confidential, so that is one of the key and one of the most important qualities of working inside a bank. Another really important quality is being able to be out and involved in the community and giving service back to the community. So it's not just about how we can make more money for the bank, but it's how we can enhance the communities that we're in. A community bank has a lot to do with local people working in the local branches, making decisions locally that impact the people that we work with and see every day, every weekend out in the community. So it's very important that we are involved and that we give service back to the community. It's not just about a job, it's about serving the entire community all the time. So one of the most fun aspects of my job is that no 2 days are ever the same. I can come in with a great plan on something that I want to do, and something else comes up. So every day is different, every day is unique, and every day is a lot of fun because I have the flexibility to go out into the community and talk to different business people, or I can be in my office and talk to folks about loans or new accounts. I could be at a nonprofit event or function. So every day is different, and that's what's really fun about my job, is it gives me the flexibility to really do just about anything to enhance the bank and the community at the same time. If working in a bank is something that you've thought about, or maybe it's something that you haven't even thought about, it's a very rewarding position. You're able to help people achieve the goals that they want to get to, help them buy their first car, help them buy their first house, help them start a business, help them save for that new baby that they've just had, or help them save for that awesome vacation that they're looking forward to taking. Working in a bank is rewarding for yourself, it's rewarding for your family, and it's rewarding for the community. It's definitely something to consider. Whether you decide to go into banking or any other profession that you want to go into, getting out and serving your community is very important. It looks great on a resume, it makes you feel good on the inside. Having those leadership skills, having those conversation skills, having the ability to write letters, call people on the phone, those are all very important attributes that you can take into any kind of job that you're looking into. If I were looking to hire somebody here, I'm looking for somebody that's outgoing and has those really good people skills. We're also looking for accuracy, so we want to know that somebody who is detail-oriented, who's going to be able to take work and know that it's going to get finished accurately and promptly and completed on time.
Hi, my name is Bob Meyerhofer. I work for First Federal Bank of the Midwest, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my career. I grew up on a dairy farm in Putnam County, And growing up on the dairy farm, it's usually assumed you'll be a farmer. And trying to decide a career through high school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I ended up taking an accounting class in high school and found that I really enjoyed numbers and working with numbers. And so I went to college for accounting out of high school and ended up getting a job through a friend referral at the bank. And I've been in banking now 32 years. What I like about working at a bank is helping people to buy a home, buy a car, really determine what's the right answer in many cases if people aren't sure what they should be doing. So the experience that I've learned over the 32 years, I'm able to help people with making that decision. I've been a loan officer, helping people buy businesses, buy homes, buy cars. Currently what I do for the bank is I manage the what we call the deposit operations division at the bank. So anything to do with a deposit account at the bank, be it electronic for debit cards, mobile banking, mobile deposit, we work with that and try to come up with products that are going to help our customers to do their banking in a more simplified electronic manner. So how did I get there? How did I get where I'm at today? It was really through networking and working with people, not being afraid to ask questions. So again, I started with taking accounting classes in high school, liked it, went to college, took the accounting classes in college. And then from there, once I got started at the bank, I started in an entry-level position. And I found out I really liked it. I liked working with customers and helping customers. So one position, worked on that for a while and would take other positions to try to learn and grow. And so really the opportunities are limitless as long as we want to work hard and try to learn new things to help grow into the many positions and opportunities at the bank. So I'd like to talk about some of the various technology that is important for me to know in my position at the bank. So Word and Excel are obviously very important. And working in Word and Excel, most of the reports we do at the bank to try to analyze things, and again, it's all to help customers. So knowing how to use these reports, how to understand the data in the reports, very important. So I would say Word and Excel are two very important items to learn. A lot of the systems that we use at the bank, that will vary from company to company, bank to bank, and you learn a lot about that on the job. As you start and work in your job, you will be taught those. So it's important just to have that base understanding of technology. One of the classes I took in high school that I didn't know why I took it, a lot of kids were signing up, I signed up, I took it, was typing. And I tell everybody I interview, I've probably hired over 1,000 people in my career. One of the most important classes I ever took was typing in high school. I don't even know if they offer it anymore, but knowing the keyboard and able to type up my reports and type up the memos and the letters and correspondence with customers has been a very big plus for me. One of the things that has changed drastically in banking in my years that I've been in banking is the technology advancements in electronics. So a laptop computer was not heard of when I started in banking, and now a lot of our work is done on laptops. So it's mobile, we can pick it up and go. We use iPads, we use the smartphones, so very important. You know, when I started in banking 32 years ago, the thought of making my loan payment using my phone or taking a picture of a check and depositing it using my phone was unheard of. So I'm excited to see where the technology is going to take us going forward, but the technology in the last 32 years has been outstanding, making all of our lives easier and simpler. So we don't have to run to the bank every time we have a check to cash. We can take a picture, it's in our account. We can get online and look at our account on our phone, on our computers. And that's been a big plus, I think, for our consumers in the banking industry. One thing I would like to mention to anybody that's trying to consider the career they want to move into, it's okay to try a couple different things. Many times we change our minds. When I was 18, graduating from high school, I had no idea this is where I would be. But going to college, it gave me some direction and focus. It gave me some structure, and then I could learn from that structure and focus, and that's what helped bring me to my career. So I want to talk about when it's time for you to actually start that job or look for that job. Prepare for that job. Do some research. Do I want to work at a bank, or do I want to work at a factory? Do I want to work in the office? Where do I want to work? Do some research. We have so many tools we didn't have when I went into the workforce available at our fingertips using the Google searches and so forth. So do some research. I've probably hired over 1,000 employees in my career. One of the things that probably some good employees, was some reasons why they didn't get hired, is they were absolutely not prepared for an interview. I have employees or candidates show up and they look at me and say, what job am I applying for? I expect someone to know what job they've applied for when they come in. I expect for you to bring a pen and a notepad and have some questions written down and know a little bit about the company. And don't be afraid to ask questions. When you're being interviewed, the company you're interviewing with wants to know you and get to know you, and we do that through the answers you give us. Don't be afraid to ask that company questions so you get to know that company. You should know that that company is a right fit for you just as much as that company wants to know if you're a right fit for their position. Thank you.
My name is Stephanie Perez, and I'm the collections manager at First Federal Bank. I attended Bryan High School in Bryan, Ohio. And when I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be a social worker, and I did start attending college out of high school for about a year. Kind of decided it wasn't for me, and so I ended up quitting and joining the workforce, and have had several different jobs since then. But I've currently been with First Federal Bank for about 11 and a half years, and I've been in the collections department the entire time. Since I joined the workforce, I've had a wide variety of different jobs. I've worked in a few factories doing production. I've done outdoor underground construction. Then I entered into copying medical records, and kind of since then I've been in the office environment, and that's kind of where I've decided I felt most comfortable. And I was at a third-party collection agency for about 3 years, and then that's when a job opening came available at First Federal, and that is when I entered the collections department there. I originally started out as an administrative assistant, probably for about the first 4 years I was there, and then I moved up to being what we call an account advisor or collector, and then I did that for probably about 3 years and advanced to assistant manager. And then about 2 years after that, my boss actually retired, and so I was promoted to her position, which I have been doing for approximately a year and a half. The collections department within the bank handles any loan that is past their grace period, which is typically 10 to 15 days past due. We start handling those loans, any retail loans, from car loans to houses, home equity loans, a wide variety of loans. Also any negative deposit accounts, savings accounts, checking accounts. We also handle those. We basically work all of those accounts from the beginning of delinquency all the way, whether it's foreclosure, repossession, charge off, writing off balances. We typically make calls on all of those accounts on a regular basis, send letters, try to work with the customer to see if there's any way we can help them in their time of need. To get their account back on track. An average week for my job in particular as the manager is I obviously have to oversee all of the employees and monitor their call volumes, make sure all the appropriate letters are being sent out per our requirements, and I also do several delinquency reports for our board and our executives, usually periodically about 2-3 times a month, which those can take 2-3 days at a time, depending on which one I'm working on. I also obviously handle payroll, monitor scheduling and vacations. I definitely think to work in this field, you have to be very patient and understanding and have a desire to help people. Everybody that you come in contact with, typically in the collections department, is going through some sort of hardship in their life, whether it be temporary, long-term, and you need to really be sensitive to each and every person's needs and do the best you can to help them, and also realize that they may be taking their frustrations out on you, but they're just kind of directing it at whoever's available, and you just need to do your best to stay calm and do everything you can to help them to get them back on track. thing that I enjoy most about my career is the ability to help a customer who is maybe really down and out and thinking that things may be hopeless, that they may lose their home, they may lose their car, and being able to get them back on track so that those things don't happen is very rewarding, because ultimately the bank doesn't want those situations to happen, and so we want to do whatever we can to prevent that from happening as much as the customer doesn't want it to happen. So I find a lot of joy in being able to help them and see, years down the road that we haven't had to communicate with the customer in a few years, so they've obviously gotten back on track and stayed that way.
Hi, my name is Matt Altenberger. I'm a commercial lender here at First Federal Bank of the Midwest. I grew up in Ottoville, graduated in 2003. I played a couple different sports for Ottoville. Ended up going to college over at St. Francis in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I had a business degree with a concentration in finance. I ended up getting into banking, becoming a credit analyst for the bank, working my way up, eventually becoming a commercial lender. As a commercial lender with First Federal Bank, I specialize in loans. I work directly with the clients, going out for business loans, whether it's helping somebody with an acquisition, purchase equipment, purchase inventory, purchase real estate. When I was in college, I studied finance. I had to take accounting courses and just general business courses. One of the most important qualities for a person in my position is the ability to be outgoing. You can't be afraid of rejection. There'll be times where I'll ask for somebody's business. You have to be able to accept that maybe they are happy with where they're at. My position with the bank is basically a sales position. My goal is to go out and find business loan opportunities that are good loans without costing our bank money. In our position at the bank, what we do is we analyze financial statements. The client will bring in their tax returns, we'll pull their credit report, we'll try to get an understanding if this client is creditworthy or not. We'll do debt service coverages, we'll test their working capital, we want to make sure that they can pay us back. Our goal at the bank is to do good loans to good people, help grow our communities, help grow the businesses, without putting our bank at risk to lose any money. What I love about this job is that I gain a true sense of accomplishment. I get to see stuff start, I get to see businesses grow as well as people grow. Whether it's a first-time young farmer buying his first farm, a company growing into their second or third building, or even watching somebody getting ready for retirement and helping them sell their business. Good communication skills is also a great quality to have as a commercial lender. People trust you with their money. You have to be able to be honest with them up front. You have to be able to deliver tough messages sometimes. Not everybody needs a loan, and sometimes it's better for that person to be told no than to end up losing everything. My job requires hard work and long hours. My cell phone will ring on weekends, after hours, whether I'm at home sick with a kid or on vacation. My job is to help those people out whenever I can. It can be a very rewarding job, but it does come with some sacrifices. If you're willing to put the hard work in, the rewards will be there.